in one day. Back to back to back to back to back. So today, I figured what I would talk about would be Star Wars Rebels, the latest episode that came out this past weekend, which was called An Inside Man. I forgot the name of the title of the episode, which is episode 9 of the season. That was probably the best episode of the season. Probably even besides, like, the mall episode. And the season opener. Because this episode really was cool. Because, I mean, it brought in a thing from Legends, which is kind of cool. But also just because there were stakes and there were consequences. And Thrawn is a threat. Like I was saying actually in the last video I did, Thrawn's a threat. And people think it's because he doesn't capture them, he's not a threat. But he is. So full spoiler alert. I mean, it's an episode review. You should expect it. You should kind of expect some spoilers. So yeah, this episode was really interesting just because you had so much happening to these characters. Mainly, my biggest thing I thought was just the fact of what was going down on Lothal. Because with Lothal, the episode starts off, telling us like the obvious, it's Ezra's home. And, it's my home, Kanan. I just hate saying like this. Yeah, we know that. But the biggest thing is that if you remember, there was a guy on Lothal, Mr. Sumar, I think was his name. And he dies in this episode. Like, he literally died. They literally blew him up. He exploded. We didn't see him explode, but we saw his helmet. That man exploded and died. They killed him. Because basically what's happened is that the rebel faction on Lothal has grown. It's no longer just the Phoenix Squad. It's no longer, just the Ghost and its crew. It's another cell on Lothal that's made up of people that Ezra was friends with. And with that happening, what ends up happening because of that is they figure out, oh hey, well we're getting hired to work for the Empire anyway. We can infiltrate their facilities, and we can make the speeder bikes and the walkers and everything they're building malfunction. Thrawn figures this out, of course, because he's a genius, and so Thrawn is like, okay, hey, look, we see that you do you stand by your work? And they're like, yeah, I do. It's like, okay. Go up there and test out that speeder bike. At the start of the episode, we saw the speeder bikes, when they hit it, I think it was 98 or some 68. It was some speed. When it hits it, engine overheats and explodes. Old boy has to get up on there. And he's revving it up. And then it's like, oh, there's something wrong, got shut down. And Thrawn's like, no, that won't be as effective enough of a demonstration. Keep going. And he overrides it, and he makes it continue to rev up fully. And he just has to rev all the way up, and it explodes. And it kills him. And I'm just like, we got Thrawn doing some real nasty things. Because Kanan and Ezra, of course, also infiltrate the base because they were going, they're going to do some little, fractions. So because there's some new fighter that Thrawn's has plans for, and it's top secret. And doesn't want the rebellion to find out about it, and it's meant to fight this war and stuff. So that's something that's happening. And what it ends up being is the TIE Defender, which we'll go back to in a second. But Ezra and Kanan have to figure out how to escape, and you got Chopper there. It's a regular situation on Rebels. I gotta escape, stormtroopers, we gotta, again, the costumes. But see, the thing is, though, now, is that Thrawn knows all this. And he goes, oh, okay, they were disguised as workers. And now they probably ditched those outfits, and they went for stormtrooper outfits. Or secure, or officer outfits. It's like, alright, we just need to keep on lookout for anyone that's not identified. And then, two, Thrawn also looks Chopper's undercover, but he looks to see who's plugged into the system, pulls up all the schematics of Chopper. It's like, okay, so he knows what Chopper is now. He knows that the rebels use a C1 droid. They know this droid has been breaking into these different terminals, so that's a way to track them. That's dangerous. And then also the stormtroopers even smart in this episode too. They're like, something seems wrong. This isn't right. So Kanan and Ezra get pretty caught up in this episode. But who comes to save them? But Fulcrum. Except Fulcrum isn't Ahsoka. This the Fulcrum that it is now is none other than Callus. And Callus, as I hadn't really talked about it because I obviously haven't been doing videos, but Callus had been predicting that. I had thought since we had a new Fulcrum that Callus was the new Fulcrum, and sure enough he was. And he even knew like Fulcrum's catcher was like by the Sons of Lothal or something like that. I forgot what it actually was. And so yeah, he helps Kanan and Ezra break in and stuff and get out and escape. But Kanan and Ezra are the most childish people ever because Ezra literally force pushes him into the console when they break into the room, and then after they get all the information and stuff, and Callus is kind of impressed by Chopper and stuff, then Callus is like, well, I'll just figure out how to make this look believable that you guys defeated me, and Ezra just straight force pushes him through the glass of the computer terminal in the room and up against the wall. I'm like, and Kanan's like, Ezra, and he's like, what? He's one of us now. I figured, help him out. And Kanan's like, I'm not mad at you for that. I was mad because I wanted to do it. I was like, that's so childish. But by the end of the episode, they escape and they get back to the crew. Everything's going good for them. Everything like it's going to be going good for them. But it was very cool because then the episode ends with Thrawn being like, it's all right because we'll figure out who the mole is. Isn't that right, Agent Callus? He doesn't know for sure yet, but he's like, we'll figure it out. And he's saying, because we figure out we're going to make them work for us again. And Callus is like, masterful plan as always, Thrawn. And he's kind of like, damn, he's right. He'll figure me out, and when he does, he's going to use me against the rebellion. So it's just very interesting, though. A very interesting episode. It was very good, and I really liked it a lot. And I thought, this was a good job. This is a creative. This is good. This is what people want, And then next week is really what people want, with voices and visions. Maul just Ezra. Sam Witwer is just. He's a great voice actor. I love him as Maul. He's been Galen Merrick, or Starkiller. He's been the Sun. He's been the Emperor. And he's been Maul. It goes back in that order of what I like most. I like Maul. I like Palpatine. I like the Sun. And then I like Starkiller. In terms of order of what performances he's done that I really remember and stick out that I really liked. It's just, man. So yeah, Voices of Vision next week. I'm going to kind of talk about some interesting things I saw about that in this next video, which going to be my predictions for things that happen next week and what could be revealed. And yeah, hope you all enjoy watching the video. And until next time, guys, peace, and may the Force be with you always. Bye.